Hey there everybody, this is Death Jester here. I know I haven't gotten one of these videos done in a while. The last one was about 4 months ago, thereabouts, with one of my captains, one of the Finecast Masters of the Chapter, and I apologize for that. If you recall me saying I don't get a whole lot of enjoyment out of the painting, but that's slowly starting to change. I'm slowly getting to the point where I getting a little bit more enjoyment out of the painting, but mainly just out of seeing my miniatures actually being done and in a somewhat presentable fashion rather than just flat sea of gray like you probably see right there. So, this being my first video of the new year, first let me start off with saying Happy New Year. It was a fun year. Even though I didn't get a whole lot of models done, but I did get a lot of other stuff done that I needed to get done. And let me show off a little bit of what I got from Christmas. One of which being this. A little desk lamp that also has a larger stand. So I have the stand right now on the ground next to my desk, with it right here. Makes it a lot easier for painting at night. Where before, as you probably also noticed, I did get some brighter light bulbs. Well, my mom got them for me actually. So it makes things a lot brighter in here. I can actually see more what I'm doing, more so with the lamp now. And also, what else I got model-wise? I got Master of the Rites. I have most of the model put together except for the little speaker right here. I'm not going to get that put on until after I have everything painted. Here's the model itself. See this thing right here? The model itself, this thing right here. I'm not going to have that put it on till it's all painted. Gives me a little bit more room to maneuver because otherwise it'd be kind of cramped on the base. I got the Master of the Marches. He is not put together yet, but he is cut out of the sprue. I'm still deciding on whether or not I want to replace his unhelmeted head with a helmet. I was debating the same thing with the Master of the Rites, but not only could I not get the helmet to fit, he looked kind of weird with it. And I figured, I'm probably never actually going to use him in a game. He's just here for the collectible purposes and to have a full, just full command for my chapter. I'm not sure which company he'd be in charge of. I'd have to look in the codex, but I'm not going to do that now. So there's those two for Space Marines. I got... Let me move this shit real quick. Let me move this good stuff real quick. 2 boxes of Khorne Berserkers. Yes, you heard that right. 2 boxes, not just one. You can never have too many Khorne Berserkers, especially for a growing Chaos Army dedicated to Khorne. I'm currently working on putting together the champion, or the champion of this first squad, but it's kind of just in pieces right now. I haven't gotten enough time to actually put them together yet. And here's the second box right here, Khorne Berserkers. And let's see, last but not least, in terms of what I got, let me finish rearranging this stuff real quick. Give me a second here. Just gotta get all the rest of this off. I got Chaos Rhino. Yeah, no, that's a bit. Let me zoom out a little bit. The stand is pretty close to my desk. I didn't want to put it too far because If I zoom in too much, everything's a bit blurry. Yeah, Chaos Rhino. All in all, not a bad start for a growing Chaos army. Especially one devoted to Khorne. So the Berserkers will definitely come in handy. Even though they're elites now. But hey, I'll manage somehow. Now, let's get on to this next bit real quick before I get on to the most important. Why I have all this laid out right here. You've probably been wondering that watching this so far. Well, think back to whenever I said, you know, I didn't get a whole lot done. Didn't really need to be said. It kind of goes without saying. Part of that was also because of the fact that specific details, that's what I normally start with. Because I don't have that good of a steady hand. So say I'd be working on the purity seal right here. There would almost definitely be a little bit of overspill onto the shoulder pad, and I would always go back over that. Getting better, I'm getting a little bit steadier with my hands. But anywho, so back to the little wax seal right there. What I would do with, or what I did with my models that I did get done, I would focus on the tiny details first. I would get them completely done. I would not do it in stages. I would get, say, that seal completely done right there. Do the base coat, wash, highlights, and all of that before moving on to the next one. I'd get everything done with those specific colors, or yeah, everything done that required those specific colors, such as the tabard right there is a good example, before moving on to the next thing. Well, now I do it a little bit differently, and it's in a process I'm sure most people actually do theirs in. It's more effective than what I was doing, so it allows me to get models done a little bit quicker. I've divided things into stages. So that's why all the paints are right here. Here's the first stage paints. And this is all after priming, obviously. Probably goes without saying. This for the armor, it was last, because like I said, not so steady hands, so there'd be overspill from the details, like, which was definitely around the wrist right here, the eagle on the chest plate and on the knees. And yeah, there'd be that, so this would definitely be last. Okay, so starting off, it'd be this for all the gold portions, the melta muzzle right there, the handle for the knife, the shoulder pads, and all that good stuff. This would be for all the parchment. I've kind of tossed out my old way and come back with a new way of doing it that I got from this right here, How to Paint Citadel Miniatures, the guide. I've taken a lot of my cues now from this guide. So that's the first start for the purity seals, is that. This was for the eyes, the white scar. But I don't think you can tell they're red now. That comes in stage 2. There's the Macragge Blue, was the beginning of the wax, and also the tabard and the little rope right there on his wrist. The Leadbelcher for the metal. All this was the basing, or the base coats. All this was done a while ago. Then here'd be stage 2. All the washes and the Bloodletter glaze for the eyes. Oops. Sorry, little guy. Anyways, it took several layers, I guess you could call it, or several glazings, I guess, of the eyes with the Bloodletter before I finally got it to a point where I liked it, or liked the outcome. The nuln oil for all the metal over the Leadbelcher, the Druchii violet over all the blues, the wax seals, the rope on his wrist, and the tabard. Then the Agrax Earthshade pretty much over everything else. So all this is also done. That's now stage 2. Stage 3, a little bit less paints. The Teclis blue for the highlights on the tabard, the rope, and all the wax seals. Got the Sycorax bronze for the muzzle right there for the melta. The Pallid Wych Flesh over the seals themselves. The Runefang steel for the Leadbelcher. And last but not least, which I have not done yet, is the layer of Gehennas Gold over the Balthasar Gold that was washed with the Agrax Earthshade. The fourth stage is going to be the Abaddon Black for, once again, covering up any overspills that might happen. The Guilliman Blue glaze over the tabard, the seals, and the rope. And the Auric Armour Gold. It's going to be another layer over the rest of the gold. Then after that, all that will need to be done. The last phase is a dry brushing of Runefang steel over the gold. Give it that burnished, highly polished look. And then the armor color itself, which is the Deadly Nightshade from coat to arms. It's very watery. And to get the effect that I like for the armor, it has to go over black, because with how watery it is, if I put it over white, you definitely see the white showing through. So that's kind of an example. That's why it looks so dark, almost black, unless you have light shining down on it. So there's that done. That's currently in progress. Let's move all this aside. Probably also noticed that giant assembly line of models right there along the edge of my mouse pad and my desk. The metal ones I had gotten from Reaper Miniatures, the store, over Thanksgiving while we were down there visiting my grandparents. I got Amon, the Viking hero. I got Stefan von Kruger, the vampire. Yeah, right there. This guy. Then Benedict, an evil warrior. I also have a silver dragon further back over there. You can probably see him. But anyways, that is my whole assembly line. I have it alternating between my Space Marines and my Chaos right here for a little bit. And then I have a Dark Elf, a Tyranid, and then the Viking. Kind of break things up, keep it from getting too monotonous. So I'll actually keep going, keep painting all my models at a steady pace. And then it goes back to alternating between Chaos and Space Marines. And once again, there's another little break for the Vampire, and then a couple of characters, a Captain for my Space Marines, and then a Sorcerer, who was actually the champion of Draznit's Reavers and the Dark Vengeance set. But I'll get to that here in a second, as to why he won't be. Then once again, alternating up until you get to Benedict. So now on to the final, most important bit. Let's go and move these out of the way. I do not mean to keep knocking him down. Is what I have gotten done so far in a relatively short time span using this new method. It's still not much, not any completed units anyways. Got my Stern Guard Veteran Sergeant, who's about to be joined by that Stern Guard right there, who's almost done. Something that went without an update, which is unfortunate. I meant to get one out, but it kind of slipped me by. I'd gotten a tactical box so I can make two Deathwatch kill teams. One magnetized, which I have not gotten to that yet, so they're still kind of in pieces. And one for use as another Stern Guard Veteran Squad. So this is the Blood Angels Deathwatch Sergeant. I've got my Chaos Lord done, finally, who's been sitting in pieces for I don't know how long. And then this new champion for the squad I've chosen from the Dark Vengeance set. This one came out a little bit later, but it was modeled after the same style. Get a little bit of zoom in on him. So yeah, not much done. Just 4 models so far, but with how things are going now, how I have everything set up, it will hopefully go by a lot quicker, and I'll hopefully be able to get a lot more models done this year as compared to last year. I'm already kind of on a roll here. Obviously, I didn't get these 4 done in the span of the past 2 days. They were all done prior to last year, but I kind of keep them separated because it's the new way of doing it with how I've been doing it. If that makes any sense at all. So, that's pretty much everything. Yep, pretty much everything I needed to get talked about. I would go more in depth on some of the processes I used, but it's all from the How to Paint Citadel Miniatures guide. If you have them, or if you have that guide, you can probably figure out which process I used for the bone, such as on the champion's helmet right there. For the gold, I already went over that. For the metal, which I did differently between the Space Marines and the Chaos. For Chaos, I just did the Leadbelcher base coat and then the nuln oil wash to darken the color a bit, and I left it as that. Kind of the, I guess you say, the dark iron look. Whereas I went all the way with the Runefang steel layer over Space Marines metal to make it lighter. You know, kind of the whole light versus dark thing. And that's pretty much it. The blue, that's pretty much my own thing. I didn't need the guide. I had already had that figured out before I got the guide. So that one's entirely original. As well as the OSL glow on the plasma gun right there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I answered a bunch of questions you may have had regarding why I didn't get a whole lot done for models this past year. And yep, that's pretty much it. So I really do hope you enjoyed the video, though. And I promise to be better about updating or coming out with updates regarding my models here, and I hope to get a lot more done this year as opposed to last year. Any further specifics for how we went about the colors will be down in the description below if you are interested. So, this has been Death Jester here with a very important model update, and I will see you guys next time. Later, everyone.